So before I get started with the deck, because I hate when channels put this stuff in the middle of a video, so you start watching the video and you can't escape it. So I'm going to put this at the beginning of the video. Before I get into playing some awesome Legacy here today, I just want to thank Face-to-Face Games, specifically of Toronto, but Face-to-Face Games in general, which is probably the best Canadian company for they host large scale tournaments. They're sort of like the Canadian Channel Fireball, and they have a wonderful set of stores. My judge mentor, I met him at Face to Face, and he's a really wonderful fellow, and so is the owner of the Toronto location, Kelly. I believe that is the I know this was filled by Wally, but today I just got in the mail my Double Masters Stoneforge Mystics, which I picked up because they looked like they were a reasonable price, and Face to Face is able to actually keep things in stock when sets are new. But beyond the 4 Stoneforge Mystics that they sent me in here, which I am spectacularly failing to open right now, they also sent me a couple of boosters of Ravnica Allegiance, which they did not need to do at all. And so I opened my couple boosters of Ravnica Allegiance, and in the first one I of course got a bangin' Mythic Rare, I assume. Is there an M on this somewhere? Yep, this is a Mythic Rare, Emergency Powers. So if I ever want to build a white-blue EDH deck that does crazy stuff, I'm sure I can. And on top of that, my second pack also had this very underwhelming rare. It's just a land. It's called Breeding Pool. So I now own 5 Breeding Pools. So if you need a breeding pool, hit me up. But I now have Stoneforge Mystics for the return to paper play at some point. Anywho, so thank you Face-to-Face Games for the extra value. You guys are amazing. They really are. Breeding pool. So this is what we're playing today in some qualifying rounds for the Mana Traders event. So today, Saturday, and Sunday, maybe even on Monday, because I think Monday might be the last day to qualify, the 25th. Monday and Tuesday. Okay, cool. So for the next several days, I'm going to be playing some of the rounds of the Legacy event. You are paired up randomly in Swiss rounds, and then if you have a good enough record, you qualify for their tournament event, which I assume will be next weekend, and I'll try to get the time off for that. We're playing Punishing Snorion, or Punishing Thieves, 80-card version. This is from the wonderful Chase Hansen, otherwise known as Strifo on Magic Online. So this deck is centered around Dack Fayden, which is a blue-red. Okay, we got Strifo in the audience here. So cut the second carpet from the board for another Deluge, and I think it's good. Yeah, that sounds like it could be good. So we're gonna make that adjustment, but as I make that adjustment, we're just going to talk about what this deck is doing. So we're focused around the Planeswalker Dack Fayden. This is blue, red, and 1 for a Planeswalker. Comes in with 3 loyalty. Has a +1. Target player draws 2 cards, then discards 2 cards. -2, gain control of target artifact. And -6, you get an emblem with whenever you cast a spell that targets 1 or more permanents. Gain control of those permanents. So Dack is pretty much unique in all of Magic, as some Planeswalkers are, but one of the most powerful things you can do with his plus is dig through your deck for cards Punishing Fire and Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, which when in your graveyard are going to generate some good card advantage for you. Cling to Dust also works well on this axis. The Wombo combo with Dack Fayden we're not really playing into so much, but you can resolve a Leovold, Emissary, Trest, or postboard a Notion Thief. And if you plus your Dack Fayden on your opponent, they will be prevented from drawing the cards, but they will still have to discard 2. In the case of Notion Thief, you will get to draw those 2. In the case of our boy Leovold, you just prevent them from drawing the 2, and then they have to discard 2. And Leovold also says can't draw more than 1 card each turn. So if you're doing it on your turn, which you will be since it's a Planeswalker, then they'll still get to draw 1. So it's not quite as powerful. We're not really in on that too much, but it is a thing you can do. And the Leovold Ultimate works really well with cards Pyroblast and Assassin's Trophy, because these allow us to gain control of literally any permanent, as well as our spot removal will allow us to gain control of creatures or Planeswalkers, as the case may be. We are in the general mold of Legacy blue soup decks, which means we're playing Ponder, Ponder, Brainstorm, and Force of Will. But because we're an 80-card deck, we've also got some copies of Force of Negation. I believe the last minute tweak that the one and only Strifo was recommending to me just now is to help shore up some of the creature matchups. I have been playing a few leagues with this deck recently, and things like goblins and elves are certainly problematic right now. Elves is definitely one of the best decks in the format at the moment, with the inclusion of Allosaurus Rider, which is particularly problematic for all the blue decks. So let's go find our opponent for our first match of the Mana Trader series. Deck is ready, play now. It's actually a very, very smooth process, so I've really been enjoying the amounts of stuff. I've been tuning a Sultai control deck in Modern. It plays a ton of random planeswalkers. So you got to hit me with that list, buddy. I played the Sultai control deck that did well in like the last Modern Challenge, and it has main deck Tarmogoyfs. I like the deck a lot, but it did not go particularly well for me when I played a league on my own. But I was also watching Total Recall at the same time, so let's see. I think it's tournament practice. So yeah, tournament practice. Create, waiting for Rorschach. Rorschach minus. There we go. Create, waiting for Rorschach minus. Okay. I believe this is all correct. And here we go. Larynx Punchworthy has returned. Facebook DM. Nice. I will check that list out. I got your sideboarding notes here, Chase, but obviously the deck lists have changed, so. Land base needs some tinkering. I jammed a Field of the Dead in last night. It was silly. Silly good, silly bad. It was a silly decision to just jam that in. All right, so this is a really, really decent hand against the field in general. We are going to play this Scalding Tarn first, as it is our worst fetch land. It was outstanding. Okay, good. Opponent mulls to 5 on turn 1. So this Force of Will feels really good. Force of Will is one of the most interesting cards in all of Magic in the way that it allows you to trade card advantage for tempo on a completely wild level. However, I do admit that there is certainly a level. Good Lord, what is this deck list you've sent me? What is the format of this deck list you sent me? You exported to Arena. Anyway, yeah, I find Force of Will, the way Force of Will interacts with Magic is fascinating. However, it is it does increase the variance in a certain way, because there are certain decks where you will be playing, and if your opponent has a Force of Will or 2 Force of Wills or whatever, it's a huge difference from them not. So this is a perfect example. My opponent is on most likely some kind of unfair deck. They are playing in turn 1 Thoughtseize. If I use Force of Will here, it means I get to preserve the information on my hand and what deck I'm playing, although anyone who knows Legacy particularly well probably is going to know that 80-card Urian is going to be something like the deck that I'm playing, some kind of snow control deck. So they do get to take my Force of Will here. They are down to 3 cards in hand in general, so I'm going to play a Scalding Tarn on my turn and try to ponder into a Force of Will or Force of Negation, because I think I'm about to need it. We're against Storm or more likely Reanimator. If I'm going to fetch a duel here, Underground Sea or Tropical Island feel like what I want to have. I think we'll just go Tropical Island. X-Mage formatting. It looks like X-Mage is formatting in such a way that it will be able to... Ah, shoot. I meant to shuffle there. X-Mage is formatting in such a way that it will be able to export to Arena. Okay, so that was a really bad fail to shuffle there. My only hope here is that my opponent is playing a deck in which they have the ability to play around me. Shoot, that is so bad. I was really, really hoping that they were playing some kind of linear deck that would respect the fact that I probably just snap-topped a Force of Will. Now I have nothing to do for the next several turns, so this is not great. Misclicking, probably not a good idea, but that's all right. I haven't played Magic in a couple days, so... I am going to play a fetch land here because I want to shuffle. I do not want to pick up the third land that is on top of my deck right now. So let's keep hoping that whatever they want to do over there, that they are continuing to stall out and fail. So we went from playing Modern to Legacy, and I feel like I'm not going to die on turn 3. Oh, maybe I'm definitely going to die on turn 3. Oh, no. Yeah. The last card in their hand is going to be the money card? Shit. Yeah. God damn. So, they can't draw at all with this, though. They literally can't draw any cards with this, and I'm just going to kill it with Toxic Deluge. So, this is actually a very sad Grizzlebrand. Sadsil brand? I don't know. But this is... Yeah, it's fine. That's what I'm saying, Strefo. Like, this is... We good. Their hand was so poor, and they had to fetch Thoughtseize. So the fact that I punted actually kind of worked out because they played the second Thoughtseize. Now, I don't know what their hand was before this happened, so it's possible that they couldn't have done this last turn, and they just had nothing better to do than play the Thoughtseize. We're going to grab black, I guess. Yeah, because if I draw a trophy, I'll be happy to have it. Although I think I'm just playing Toxic Deluge this turn anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then we want to have red afterwards. I think we just Deluge their Grizzlebrand and just hope that they whiff for a single turn, because after this, if I play Leovold, we should be in great shape. Bye, friend. Boop. They saw that I had it too, so they knew that was coming. So now the top of their deck has to be fire. They do play a number of 2-mana reanimation spells, Animate Dead and Exhume. Okay, so they top deck the land. I don't know if I'm supposed to play Leovold or Uro here. If they can get another Grizzlebrand out somehow, my Leovold is irrelevant anyway. I don't actually remember if Reanimator is a... I'm just going to look up a list really quick because I honestly just don't remember if they play Brainstorm or any of that nonsense anyway. I've played against Storm more recently, so doesn't hurt to do your research as you are playing for stakes, and we are definitely going to have enough time to finish this match if it goes long, so I think we're going to be all right. Ooh. Wow, Reanimator's way down there on the Legacy. But man, there's so many viable decks in Legacy. What is happening? Holy crap, Reanimator is really bad. There it is. It's like the 20th most popular deck. Okay, they're not playing any blue cards whatsoever. So playing Leovold just basically does not matter. So I'm gonna go ahead and play Uro. Nice deck. I hope you face the mirror sometime soon. I mean, I've played the semi-mirror, which is, I think, more common, where you play against, like, Bant Snow or something like that. Yeah, we'll just ponder here. Wow, this is, yeah. Let's go top, top, top. No, this completely insane top of my deck is fine. Oh, I could have grabbed the Cling to Dust there. I didn't realize. I haven't played with Ponder in so long. I just thought I was resolving a... I don't even know what thought I was resolving out of Modern. But whatever it wasn't this. Okay, that's fine. So we're just going to play Dack here and start looting. We can pick up the Cling, which means we're basically invulnerable to our opponent ever winning this game ever again. And we've got Uro in our yard, which we'll be able to play out in a turn or two. All right, so yeah, perfect. I don't need this anymore, and I probably don't need the Ice-Fang. Okay, play the Delta. Just keep hitting our land drops. Next turn we'll play Uro and have Cling Up, and I mean, this game is over. How you doing today, Speeve? I know I've been off for a couple days, but you should I build this? It's very, very difficult to play. If you have the cards for it already, I say go for it. This is the deck that I bought into MTGO for, and between this and Snow Control in Legacy, I don't know if there's any decks that I'm more torn about the existence of, and I say that because I absolutely adore these decks, and there's just, I feel like I will never own them in paper. I just don't know if I'm ever going to have this amount of money sitting around to do this. Okay, Fatal Push definitely out. Bolt out. Oh, let's consult the sideboarding guide. I do have a sideboarding guide here. I will include it in the YouTube description below. It does not line up exactly with the deck list that I'm playing, because we did make one change in the sideboard, so you're going to have to do that live. So be aware of that. I don't even know. Yep. So just like I was seeing on Goldfish, there's no, this is not included in the deck list because in the sideboard guide, because nobody's playing Reanimator. But that's all right. It's been a couple days. I forgot to even bring up my soundboard. Okay. So don't need Pyroblast, don't need Carpet, don't need any of these things, don't need any of these things. I guess Brazen Borrower could be okay against some of their threats, and maybe Toxic Deluge is just like, we got lucky in that first game, but because we definitely have a lot of answers. I guess the other thing we could do is cut Punishing Fire, because it's really not doing that much at all here. It is still like a card advantage engine with Dack Fayden, obviously, but I don't know if we're playing that game at all, or we just want to cut them off of trying to beat us early, and then we'll be fine. So that's the choice I'm going to make. If Strifo chimes in and tells me I've done it wrong, you done did it wrong, son, then I will make that change. Okay. Game the second. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Hand is definitely vulnerable to my opponent attempting to turn one, but this is a post-board game. So I assume they are unlikely to try to turn one me. So I'm going to keep, because we've got two different cantrips we could play on turn one. Reveals Chancellor. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Not allowed to interact. Oh, no. Oh, no. Do they have Chancellor and the turn one? Because this could be real bad real quick. Plays Faithless Looting. If you miss the train on cheap Legacy singles, it's kind of shitty. Just SOL. Yeah. I mean, you can still occasionally get duels for steel, but yeah, it's really, really gross. I think basically I just have to wait until I'm working in the cruise industry again, because at that point my expenses are just crazy low, and I can just put away like $200 a month, and then over the course of a contract I can buy like 2 duels, and so in like 2 years I could have the duels, and the duels aren't the only hard part. Okay, so we need to draw basically a free spell that interacts with what they're doing. Will there be cruise industry again? They're supposed to be. I mean, they've announced their plans once again to reopen. If they do, that's a different matter. But so we're just going to pitch Arcum's Astrolabe into the Chancellor. So Chancellor the Annex, they can reveal from their opening hand, and the first spell I play in the entire game gets automatically force spiked. counter that spell unless that player pays 1. So I played Astrolabe into it, automatically countered, and then on my turn I'm going to be able to play this Ponder and look for Force of Will. This also makes them now respect the fact that I could have Force of Will, Force of Negation. Don't go to America. I mean, I'll barely be in America during my approach to the cruise industry. I prefer alive Canadians. Well, I know you're not going to want to have to like rescue me, but like their plan currently involves launching their first ship in Europe in March 2021. So I wouldn't worry about me going soon. And the longer that it actually takes for the point where I would be able to go out, the more likely I am to stay, just because of the likelihood that I'm not really invested in being part of that industry and more invested in staying home. But that said, I mean, we'll see how it all goes. No, they're not. Yeah, they're starting in Europe, but they always put their new. It's a new ship that's coming out, and the new ships are built in Europe, and they always sail them in Europe first. So it's not atypical. But if they put some of their ships that are normally in America straight out into, they put Chancellor into play. Okay, so they're playing a little bit scared here. So this now has a static text on it. It says whenever an opponent casts a spell, counter it unless they pay 1. So this says to me that they have another reanimation spell for the Grizzlebrand next turn. So the question is, I think what we do is we play one of my non-fetch lands here. And instead of just tapping down fully here, we're just going to pass the turn and see if they respect my open mana. Obviously, they could just have discard spell, reanimation spell, or something like that. I won't go these days. I need to get my absentee ballot in. Yeah. So we'll see if they just respect my open mana here, because this Chancellor is not going to kill me particularly quickly, which gives me time. Next turn, I can cast Ponder and still have 1 mana open for a Surgical or a Force of Will. What is up, Leviathan 102? How you be? I hope you are well. Because if I just played the Ponder on my last turn, yes, I could find a Force of Will or a Surgical Extraction, but I wouldn't be able to play it. So I feel like it was a better move to leave my mana up so that they would potentially respect what I could have in terms of interaction. So we're bluffing. We're bluffing big time. Discard another looting and an Entomb. I guess they already have a Grizzlebrand in their graveyard, so they don't need another Unmask. Yup, can't interact with that. They exile Entomb. Sure. Alright. Choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. So it's a Duress. It's got a very cool art of Yawgmoth. Not Yawgmoth. Volrath. This is, God, what's her name? They just made her in Commander. The Sleeper Agent, Xancha, and there was Volrath. Sort of had did a fake, big old fakeroo. All right, so we'll Ponder here. We're digging for Surgical or Force. Uh-oh. Pyroblast. No, but I overtapped. Wait, this kind of works out? Well, we'll see. They should have let me finish paying for this, because, yeah, they actually punted here, which is kind of funny. Let's go get green or black in addition to blue. I mean, I don't need to, but I think our mana is generally safe in this matchup. I guess I could get a Bayou here. Doesn't really matter. Play the Ponder, pay for the trigger. So opponent punted there, and now they're on 0 resources. I think there's a good chance that in this Mana Traders thing, there's a lot of people who don't play a lot of Legacy. I know I'm one of them. So let's take this trophy, I guess. All these cards being on top is probably fine. I don't need the tropical. So top, top, and top. So next turn we can kill this with the surgical. Not the surgical, Assassin's Trophy. I should have left the trophy on top in case they draw a discard spell. And they have 1 card in hand. They can flashback Faithless Looting and just sort of double rummage. Oh, don't tell me they hit. Good lord. Well, can't beat that. So for anyone who thinks that we may still have a chance here, there is most likely they're just going to be able to draw 7, unmask me like 3 times, take away all my relevant spells. I also know the top card of my deck is a Misty Rainforest. The only other thing I could possibly draw is Toxic Deluge off the top would wipe their board without killing me, because I'm going to take 4. Puts me to 11. We could pay 7 life and wipe out their board. But they're going super, super, super slow. And game 3 could go really long. I know I'm like 99% dead, but this player seems really... Good lord. Just all in, baby. So let's see, I take 4, and then they have 9, 15 power in play. I can't even play the Uro. Yeah, we're just dead. We couldn't even Toxic Deluge, even if we could pick it up. So definitely dead there. But just let them burn a little bit extra clock. This matchup is almost definitely not ever going to be able to go to time, so it's not really worth it. But just felt like seeing what my opponent would do in that situation was fine. Chase, do you think the Punishing Fire should be in the deck right now? I don't think that they should. I think my sideboarding is fine. It may not be perfect, but I think it's fine. We have the crop rotation. We've got the Bojuka Bog. We've got Karakas still in the main. I think this is all where it should be. My board in. I think that's everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. I guess we could board in Pernicious Deed because it kills animate deads, but that's somewhat narrow. It's a little narrow. Yeah, I think we're good. Alright. Let's just be more lucky. Gotta be more lucky, baby. Gotta be more lucky. Oh, hey Roy. I knew I was forgetting something, and I know you are always the person who fixes it. You always fix it. I hope you are well, my friend. Now, where is this deck hiding? Legacy. There you are. That's the deck, and we have 1 change. 1 small change. Carpet. 1 carpet. Toxic Deluge. Oops, I didn't add the Deluge. There we go. Alright. The final showdown. So I have no ability to interact on turn 0 with this hand and nothing to play on turn 1, so this is definitely not keepable. There we go. Okay, deck list on Stream Decker is now correct. Bang. Alright, mulligan. Wireless earphones are tricky to connect. Ah, cool. I was just saying I was hoping you were well. So my opponent mulled to 5 on game 1. This is a pretty good hand here. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna bottom snap and we're just gonna pray. Opponent did not have the turn 0 Chancellor, which is good because I wanted to cantrip this Astrolabe. I'm doing quite well, my friend, quite well. Just been doing a lot of things, working on a bunch of different stuff. I'm trying to design my first ever drink menu for the restaurant where I'm working right now, which is not something that I was tasked with doing, but more something that I'm taking on my own because we don't have one at the moment. Our regular menu is even not it's 2 restaurants that were open next to each other that were owned by the same people, and then during the whole shutdown and everything, they basically stripped it down to they're running 1 kitchen and they're running the patios of both establishments, and then we're sort of growing back open right now. And one of the things we don't have consistently that people are always asking for is drink menu. So that is something that we need, and also I think that there's a lot of room for some creativity and some interesting stuff as soon as someone took the interest and had the time to put in outside of work. So that's something that I'm doing for fun. Plus, it's a good reason for me to just learn more about drink making, cocktails, and etc. So I'm going to try to invent a drink that is an homage to my late great grandfather. I mean, I think the thing about it is, though, Roy, that a lot of people know what they want anyway. So you don't need to have a drink menu if your waiters and waitresses have a good knowledge of what you have, and if most people know what they want, right? Generally speaking. My opponent's just going to have it all on turn 1, huh? Okay, well, maybe we get to this Toxic Deluge and get to play Magic here. Wow, just the perfect 7. Restaurant sounds incredibly disorganized from what you told me thus far. I think if you ask a lot of people who work for independently owned restaurants, I think this is probably what you will receive as information about how organized it is. All right, looks like we're getting just nutted on the game 3, not just the drink menu, uncertainty of your schedule. Yeah, and I'm just suggesting that I think if you look at the restaurant industry as a whole, I think probably most of the ones that are independently owned are a little wild. It's a little bit Wild West. A lot of the time. And part of it is that being looser allows the managers and everything to adjust to things like the fact that, like, just if it rains, right? Like, we basically are just closed for the day right now. Yeah, I mean, it's problematic, but if you can roll with it, if you don't need a certain level of stability, yeah, exactly. It's just super flexible, right? So as long as your employees aren't tearing their hair out and dying from the lack of information and consistent communication and things like that, then it can be very, very helpful. Like, unlike working for a giant corporation, which I've done multiple times, where if you want to change anything, it's like a colossal undertaking just to change one tiny thing. My Stoneforge Mystics came in the mail today, though. I do need to figure out what versions of Sword of Fire and Ice and Batterskull and Sword of Feast and Famine. As long as I'm enjoying it, it sounds good. Yeah, it's definitely been good. Yeah. All brand new Double Masters. Good lord, opponent. Just following their flowchart all the way to the end. All right, I think we could scoop out of this one and go play Magic elsewhere. So looks like we lost this one. Yeah, there's a Chancellor. Yeah, the old school art is the only thing that matters to me on the Stoneforge. But on the sort of Feast and Famine, I really want to get the Judge foil. Same with the Sword of Fire and Ice. The only problem is I don't want to get those because then playing them in tournaments becomes a whole thing. So if all I'm worried about, quote unquote, is like what I can play best in the tournament in paper, then why don't I just get like a MP or HP copy, because then I can play it. And Sword of Fire and Ice and Batterskull are things that you're just going to hold on to. So, okay, so starting out on a loss, not the best, but that's okay. Opponent had a pretty nutty draw there in game 3 that I don't know if most decks would be able to play. Curviness, like ad nause dudes, foils. Yeah, basically it's just like a lot of the time foils are just not as safe plan for playing in tournaments with reasonable judge staff. Alright. Okay, this time I am looking for the match from Mechant. Alright, and here we go. Match number 2. Yeah, Chris's deck is all foil. Hit a great hand for a fair deck. Unfortunately, Reanimator is not the fairest. Yep. Well, no, I would disagree with that, though, because we didn't have Force and we didn't have Surgical Extraction. Like, I just wasn't going to mull lower than that because I thought I had a reasonable shot at getting there, but I did not get there, so. Alright, we're on the draw again. Definitely keeping this hand in the dark. Got everything we need to have a good game of Magic here, as long as my opponent's not trying to kill me on turn 1. Volcanic Island. Delver. Okay, definitely not trying to kill me on turn 1. Will they daze a Astrolabe? And yeah, I can fetch basic. So if this is Temur Delver, then we should be in good shape. This is one of, as far as Strifo has said, one of the better matchups for this archetype in general. Narrowed the secret list down to 100 cards. That's the one for Modern. I'm excited to see it when I get to see it. No, Legacy is amazing. I love Legacy. The only problem I have with Legacy is it's just hard for me to be attached to the format because I just don't know if I'm ever going to be able to play it in paper. But, you know, you do what you can. So if they ponder here, which they revealed off the top with this Delver, I wonder if I should force it. It feels, well, they didn't anyway, so I would love to force that. Well, we're going to force the ponder when they play it next turn, because, oh, or maybe not. So let's play the Badlands. Actually, so do we take the very risque line of force, or bolt the Insectile Aberration, force the ponder when they play it, and then hope that we can remove the Dreadhorde afterwards? Or do we just concede to the fact that we need to put up with the pressure of Delver? I just don't know which one of these is the priority. I feel like it's the Delver right now, but I feel like also that Dreadhorde gets out of control really quickly. So let's kill the Dreadhorde. We're doing this first before casting Ponder, because I really want this to resolve. Now we can cast the Ponder. I guess I should have done that on their upkeep in case I needed to force. I'm giving them the option of dazing me here. I'm okay with it if they do, because then it's not being spent on a better... Bolt Arcanist is harder to kill. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, is like there's not as many ways to do that. I really want this Dack Fayden, but I don't need it now. I want the Dack Fayden in the land, so let's go top, top. this time I definitely do not want to shuffle. More afraid of the wizard. Yeah, that's what I figured. It's just one of those things of like, because I haven't played this format enough, I don't take things for granted. I'm not gonna be playing Dack this turn, so I don't feel like I need to disrupt them finding anything here. I have the Misty Rainforest on top of my deck, which is going to give this Ice-Fang Death Touch. Okay, it looks like they're really pushing for some kind of interaction. They just want to protect this Delver for here on out, but... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't do it! No! Okay, so now we can't play Ice-Fang with the ability to play through days, so we need to make sure we do it on their turn so that I can force if I have to. Sucks. Last card that I know of is on top of my deck that is a Brainstorm. So I'm definitely going to fetch a basic forest and play Ice-Fang Coatl. Question is, do I want to do it once they're attacking, or do I want to do it during their upkeep, which denies them access to a single card, which could be relevant, but I feel like once they're attacking is more important. Maybe I'm just being greedy. Should we fetch now? I don't know if they play Stifle stuff. Not right now. There is a deck in Legacy that is playing a bunch of Stifle effects right now. But it's not this one. All right. What do you got? Oh, this is going to be Oko? Boy. It's going to be Oko. Let's hope they have nothing. Don't have force, don't have days. If they have nothing, we're going to mess them up. But if they have the days, they're still going to be in okay shape. Do you have the days? You haven't had one yet. Damn it. Alright. No. I guess I could have played around it and just waited for a turn and took the hit. Although, I get to resolve Dack now, which is not particularly good because he's pretty likely to die. I guess I could just ponder instead to try to hit a removal spell. And then we're in a much better position. Like that. So let's go. Top, top, top. No shuffle. Let it go. Or not. I think if I had played 1,000 reps of this game, I might have an answer that was opposite of what I've played so far. And I think if I had 10,000 reps of this game, like you do, Chase, then I would have the real answer for what I was supposed to do there. Okay, so I know one of the cards in their hand is a land. I'm going to go with it's reasonably safe to just jam this deck. And if they've got the raw days, we would have got there, but we didn't, so we're okay. So we're going to go draw 2, discard 2. I don't need Karakas in this matchup, and I think Ponder is better than a land right now, considering I already made my land drop. So from here on out, we're going to try to hit as many land drops as possible, just keep growing our control plan, making sure we can escape an Uro when we hit it. I think the coolest part of this deck is that even if you had 10,000 reps, you'd wish you had a few more. Probably. There's the Uro we wanted. This Tarmogoyf is not currently able to kill my deck. It's unlikely to grow to that size. If I ponder first, I'm more likely to hit a land, but then I definitely won't be able to escape my Uro. So I think if we loot into any land, I can escape the Uro. So there we go. So just go discard that, play this, blue, green, green, blue. Okay. They have to have a pretty ideal draw to beat me here. Come on, Magic Online, stop screwing with me. Also saying, like, actually, we're not going to play this Ponder. I'll say, I don't want to say if it's like a weird way or a good way or whatever, but I feel like the variance in other formats is just faced. Well, that's a pain in the ass. I'm on hold with the IRS. Yikes. I think the variance aspect that some people do not like about Magic is very much faced, very, I want to say, like, bold-facedly. The variance of Magic is very boldly faced by the Legacy format because of cards like Wasteland, and so this destroys Oko, which is awesome for 1 mana, which is great. Wasteland and Force of Will. The true, like, stare your opponent in the eye and say you don't have it thing is very honestly faced by the Legacy format. It's just like, yes, there are 100% games which will be decided by you just going by your intuition and saying, I think that they do or do not have it right now. And how much that decision matters is, like, I think it's pretty cool. So they've got creature, instant, sorcery. Yeah, sorry, I can't mess with the size of the Goyf here. I'll just take out the lightning bolt because I'm not going to need it. It's a format where heuristics matter even more. Yeah, because you're playing with what is it, Slansky dollars a lot, which is to say that making the correct percentage play is so huge because you have to know what is going to net you wins on average. So doing the math against decks and just having the reads based on very small information is very good. And, like, I feel like Legacy wears it the most clearly on its chest, followed by Modern, followed by Pioneer. But Pioneer and Standard and Historic are almost the same. Well, no, Historic has Pact of Negation now. All right. So I don't have any way to target anything. So let's attack with Uro first, I guess. Yeah, there's a Pact of Negation in Historic. Yeah, Historic is very strange. It's a very strange format right now. Yeah, Historic has very strange stuff. It's a completely stupid list of cards. If it was a paper format, it would be a goddamn nightmare. All right, I'm gonna plus my Dack here. See what we can pick up. I have not yet played a land this turn, so I still want that. Backup Uro seems pretty okay. As does backup Dack. I guess the funny thing will be we play Scalding Tarn, crack the Scalding Tarn, because then I should have held on to that maybe, because I could pick up a Brainstorm. But we're going to escape the Uro again. Just replace Uro with Uro here. And use that to block here. I know I'm eating through more of my graveyard than maybe I should by doing this, which is a little aggressive, I guess. But I think I feel pretty good about it. Keep that Uro. Can't wait to Dack him. I mean, yeah. Let's play Leovold. All right. And Leovold. Aw, you jerk. It's fine. This is so okay. I don't think they have any way to come back from this. An elf, a thief, and a giant walk into a bar. Yes, that is the point at which this game has gotten to. All right, let's plus first, see if we can find a removal spell for the Goyf. Yes, we did. We also found a Brainstorm. These are like the best possible cards in this situation. Get the hell out of here, you nerd. Oh no! Spell Snare? That's just rude. Alright. I don't know. Attack with my arrow, I guess. Smush. Alright, opponent. You have your fun. Alright, let's keep this game going for another turn or two. So they can jump block me next turn, but then there's just, there's no way they're ever coming back here. Like, what are they going to do here? Attack my deck and die? Like, yeah. Okay, let's try it again. Second verse, same as thirst. A little bit louder and a whole lot worse. Oh, opponent with the Force of Negation. They're just hanging on for dear life in this one. Alright. You know what? You got it. You have successfully resolved your Force, but I'm going to hit you for 3. I wonder how much more reasonable Uro would be if it looted instead of straight up drew a card. Lol. Well, Cave Dan would tell you it would be even better, because that's worth more in terms of mana investment as far as what WotC is printing. But honestly, honest answer, it would be very, very good still. And it would feed itself more, which I think would be kind of nutty. So that would be... I should have played that. That would be really good. Like, you'd be able to escape. People give so much shit for that one comment. Oh, it's not for that one comment. It is not just for that one comment. As much as they don't like to be hot take people, I think it is funny how they... Well, no, Dave actually does like to be a hot take guy, I think. What do you have here? Bolt. Okay. Are they just doing this for clock? Like, do you have an answer for my Uro that you're not... Another bolt. Okay. So they're just conceding, but they're making it take more time. No, I'm good. What on earth is this board state? This is an opponent that won't concede. This is mostly not due to me. Opponent did not know when they were done for. All right, so carpet, pyro, Toxic Deluge probably, Deed probably, Plague Engineers maybe, Notion Thief also maybe. Oh, hold on. This one is in the sideboarding guide. Thank you, Strifo. Rug Delver. -2 Punishing Fires, 1 Leo, 2 Force of Negation. Okay. +2 Carpet, Pyroblast, Deed. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring in the Deluge because... Oh, sorry. Crop Rotation should not have been there. I thought the Crop Rotation was the other Carpet of Flowers, which we don't have. So, we're down to 1 Carpet of Flowers, but we have the second Toxic Deluge, and I think that's probably fine. If we're not playing Leo, we shouldn't be playing Notion Thief. So, I guess the Notion Thief is supposed to come in for more controlling matchups. And I'm not exactly sure why Punishing Fire is bad. Now there's only 1 Carpet. Yes. No, I got that. Is Punishing Fire actually bad here? Is it because it's a 2 CMC removal spell and it's just hard to get that through their early interaction when it matters? Because they're going to try to keep us on low resources, right? So the way we won that game was by playing through... Because they had us on 3 lands on like turn 5? 2 or 3 lands on turn 5? And we just had the right mixture of removal. Punishing Fire only kills Delver. Oh, okay. Yeah, because they've got Goyf and Dreadhorde Arcanist. That's true. Yeah, it's that thickness. No, I get it. I'm down with the thickness. Come up, get down with the thickness. All right, Macient. Mechant. It's time to get wrecked, nerd. Yeah, hand is real good. The Carpet of Flowers is a very interesting sideboard card. Strife will be punch around every corner. It's like he knew the dude who made the deck. I think it's something like that. I don't know exactly what the relationship is, but it's along those lines for sure. All right, so we're gonna play Astrolabe on 1 off of basic. I do not have the ability to get this carpet down on turn. It's probably that the first Force of Negation is better than Typhoon, but I'm all about memes. I think you and me and Tomas Shamar and many other the Magic the Gathering players, we love greed. You want the powerful card. It's not always the best choice, but it is the more powerful choice, and it feels good to win, and it's not that bad to lose. And if you're a good player and you have a reasonable deck list, then you're going to win a good amount of games. And if you keep going at it, a great amount of games. I'll also say that there's a huge value in playing cards that people are not expecting you to play. So, okay. So I guess I'm just playing Carpet of Flowers here. And then we can keep up Cling to Dust, which is not... You see me and Anu let show and tell resolve with a highlight reel. I didn't, but I've done the same kind of thing. I have a 5-0 or a no. I have a was that the 4-1? I think it was my 4-1 playing blue red counterbalance in Modern, where I let my opponent's As Foretold resolve. I was like, Roy, I'm gonna let it resolve, and he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I'm just gonna let it resolve. It'll be more exciting this way. All right, so we get a bunch of mana in our second main phase here, and by a bunch I mean exactly 2, with which I could play Uro. They have the potential to daze, so I wonder if I shouldn't just get black and cycle Cling to Dust, and then also play my second Astrolabe. Sounds pretty good. So no, I haven't seen that, but that sounds phenomenal. Okay, so we're gonna add black. Let's filter first. Play second Astrolabe. Obviously, we could hold on to the Cling until life gain was a possibility, or until Ponder's a good draw. I kind of want the Ponder to pitch to Force of Will. And I want to keep 1 more mana in case they have daze. Don't play Uro, primarily because it plays into Surgical. You want to get an Uro into play all at once if possible. Agreed, yeah, that definitely good, very, very good thing to highlight for me, because I wasn't thinking about Surgical out of their deck right now, and I think they definitely need it against the Uro decks. They almost definitely have it, as well as playing against Reanimator in a general field of nonsense. So when if I cast Uro on the A side, I'm going to make sure that I do it in such a way I can immediately escape it, which will not be for several turns, but that's okay. Hootie and the Hoots. They have 4 cards in hand. So they have 3 lands in play, which means I'm going to have access to 7 mana next turn, which in theory means I can play and escape Uro if I have enough cards in my graveyard. I need to add 2 more, so that'll be Force of Will plus the fetch land. So if I force this, even if I get beaten on this, this is putting me in a position to play and escape Uro next turn. So if they use their counter magic on this, okay, so hopefully they don't have a force on my turn. And we'll still get the A side of Uro at least, I think. So we should be all right. Yeah, okay. So we're going to add green here. I've got double Astrolabe, so I think we're okay either way. But we're going to add green. I'm going to play Volcanic Island. No, we're going to play Polluted Delta. Get a basic swamp. The blast destroys blue permanence still baffles me. Why? It's just a very, very old card. I mean, they have wild, wild text. Wiki, 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 wild, wild text. When you stroll into the wild, wild text. And you roll up to the wild, wild text. Alright, so we're not going to be able to play around daze here, so let's not get dazed. So we're playing around surgical by doing this, not daze. It resolved, hooray. This hand is less than great, but it has Dack in it, so it's probably fine. We also have access to Urion for double Astrolabe next turn, because Carpet of Flowers is a fair and balanced Magic the Gathering card. Second Blast, sure, that's fair. Well, Dack will get us to the next... Sure. Thanks. That's actually quite helpful, opponent. You're just all kinds of generous over there. Hopefully they do not have... That's also a good draw. Good lord, we are just drawing the hottest of fire over here. All right, this turn adding blue, I think. I probably could have waited until second main phase because we play the Baleful Strix on the first main phase and just see where we end up. But same with playing the land. I should not have played that land before I played the Baleful Strix because playing the Strix is not going to be... Uh-oh. Pyroblast. Yep. All right. Alrighty. So play my deck. We're going to loot. Which means we have Uro next turn, and at worst, we're going to be able to grab Urion out of my sideboard. They have one card left in their hand. This is a great draw. They have one card left in their hand. So if it's Bolt, that would kind of put us in an awkward spot. But then again, I think we're just going to go upkeep Ice-Fang. I think that's the best way to do this. Chase can tell me otherwise. Trample's annoying. I agree. But, I mean, to be perfectly honest, killing the Delver is almost as good as killing... We have the second Dack Fayden anyway, so... Don't worry, Roy, nothing matters. Nothing's ever mattered. It's too late. Always has been. Always will be. Both attacking me. Loch, the thing that doesn't put me dead to Bolt. What do you got? What do you has, opponent? They left the Dack Fayden in play. Well, that is terrifying. Okay. I think we're adding green this turn, just because it means I don't have to mess around with Astrolabes. Play Uro. I should Dack first. Dacks are coming in groups. Just remember that luck is finite. Burning it all in this game isn't terribly prudent. Sure. I'm going to discard both Dacks here. Which seems a little bit crazy, considering how good he is right now, but I think I'm just going to try to make decisions at a reasonable pace. Because if I don't, we get into trouble quickly. Luck isn't finite if you have leprechauns chained up in your basement. Oh, Alex. Always making it nice and dark here. Let's just trophy this Mandrills, I think. Because Drown can be used on spells. I'm out of chains right now. Well, go down to the Chain Emporium. It's in the Chain District. Sylvan Library. What if we didn't? Would that be okay? Can I opt for no? What if I don't want the undercoating? Do they have the days? Nope, they have the concession. Got them. All right. So that matchup is very, very, very good for this deck. I know a few places for chains in the GTA. The Luck Gland. Yeah, you gotta have your Luck Gland. Make sure you're taking your Leprechaun Sin. Leprechaunison? Leprechaunicon? I don't know. Alright, so good clean win there. against, again, one of the better matchups for this deck. But if you do, it's funny because Julian Knob on Everyday Eternal has for the last 2 or 3 episodes, he's had this phrase where it's like, if you think your deck has a good Delver matchup, your deck is probably just generally bad. I think this deck bucks that statement, but this deck is a deck that, as Chase has pointed out, is definitely weak to a lot of the linear combo decks, and is specifically metagamed for a legacy format in which combo is suppressed. I think the idea, Roy, is that Delver is the best fair deck in Legacy. And so a fair deck that actually beats Delver without itself being a Delver deck is probably weak, like very weak to other things. This deck is weak to linear combo, but as Strifo has pointed out, it's one of those parasitic meta strategies. Exactly. Like this deck in this current form works so well because combo is generally suppressed, but I don't know if that's actually true anymore, but it certainly was for the last little while. Okay, we're against Odorous Urungus, which I think is very close to pop culture reference, Odorous Ungerus, but I don't remember what that is. It's one of the, yeah, so you rely on the field to play hate, so you don't have to. Exactly, yeah, so like the combo decks are all worried about how much Delver is around that they are not being played. So like apparently Storm is very unpopular right now, which is one of the worst matchups for this. Let's go, baby. Let's go. All right. Oh, my goodness. This hand has very powerful magic cards. We are on the draw again, but we're definitely keeping this one in the dark. Opponent has a sick Grizzlebrand avatar. Big old Grizzle Daddy. Flooded Strand Island, not snow-covered. All right, so I would guess this is Sneak and Show or Omni-Tell. Which are variations of show and tell decks. Omni-Tell currently usually rocking blue-green so that they can play a full boat of 4 main deck Veil of Summer, and show and tell red-blue, blue-red, which is more set up to have 8 redundant ways to dump their big threats into play, as well as being able to have them have haste. I think we're just good to pass the turn here. I have double Force of Negation and 2 blue cards to pitch, so we're in a reasonable position against their early draws. But I would be open to input on how people think I should navigate this matchup, as we're under pressure for them to play show and tell already, like because the deck plays things like Lotus Petal. Assuming this is show and tell. Ponder. Yep. So they're going to get to a point where they have show and tell, one of their combo pieces, which is Grizzlebrand or Emrakul, or Omniscience, and a force in their hand. My suggestion is win the matchup. Oh, thanks, buddy. I'm glad I have you around. Okay. We're going to go ahead and fetch. We're going to get a basic just in case we hit an Astrolabe. We're going to play this Ponder because we're looking for more interaction than what we have right now, or even just more blue cards. Force of Will is a plus. So is the Black Source, so is the Baleful Strix. So let's put Force on top, under Strix, under the Swamp. I should have put the Strix in my hand, but that's fine. Next turn, we're going to play the Strix, pick up the Force, so we're going to be good to go. So, The only difference between what my hand could be right now versus what it is right now is I could have... Hope it's just an Uro pile. I mean, we've got double force if we're against a show and tell deck, so hopefully that's good enough. Sometimes it is, because they'll go for their combo with a single force backup and they won't have both. It looks like they are on Sneak and Show, which I think is the weaker of the two decks against counter magic. So, as I said, we're going to go here, exile Shark Typhoon Force. They're going to have their own force. I'm going to have my second force, and then next turn I'm going to play Baleful Strix and pick up another Force of Will, which we won't have a card to pitch for. So we're really, really hoping. So I should have picked up the Baleful Strix this turn because then I could have the Dack Fayden. I also have nothing to put. They have one card left. Okay. Oh. Well then. This game just got weird. So we get to draw a force here. I have nothing to pitch for. Maybe they top deck the land. Let's see. What was the last thing they played? Was it Ponder? Well, they didn't draw anything that they wanted to play there, so that's good. So we just need to hit a land or a blue card here. We hit a blue card. We hit one of the best blue cards we could possibly hit right now, because we get to start... well, we don't get to start looping Punishing Fire this turn because my colors aren't quite good enough for that, but this is going to work out nicely for us. We just want to hit a blue card right now. Now. Hit the blue card now. Perfect. Ditch those two. And we even have Snapcaster from here on out. Sick. All right. Here's my clock. Scraw! I love this card. It's so beautiful. I also love Ice-Fang Coatl. God, I want to be able to play this deck in paper someday. All the best cards are legal in Legacy. They just are. Like, it's just the best. It's the best format. It's so cool. I just wish that Wizards would get their together and just axe the reserve list and reprint dual lands so that everyone could play this format. Playmat came in. Oh, I'm so excited for you, buddy. For anyone who does not know, my buddy Roy is a hippopotamus aficionado, and his new playmat is glorious. It is featuring a Feldegriff. I believe it is accurate to describe it as such. I want to just play Snap Ponder here to get my clock going faster, but I honestly think that'd be slightly reckless. Because if we didn't hit a blue card, I probably should have countered that. Well, we'll see. I'll build it and loan it to you at a GP. Don't forget the combo. Which combo? Oh, the Punishing Fire. I did, actually. I literally forgot that I had Punishing Fire there. Sorry, I'm just worried about dying and not playing very well around that fact. Okay, so we're going to pick up our Punishing Fire now. And we still... Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I was worried about them comboing me, but you're right. Okay. Oh, I guess we could trophy and kill their Omniscience, huh? Is that something we want to do? Pretty sure that's something we want to do, right? Like big time? Like possibly the best thing we could be doing right now? Like, why the hell didn't I do that when I had the previous Assassin's Trophy that I picked up? Good lord. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm glad I remembered now. Alright, get out of here. They have... Okay, because they have the Force. So, I can't Snap Trophy right now, and I can't Snap Force. So, my only option right now is to play Force pitching Snap. I think they play main deck Red Blasts, so I don't know if I'm supposed to go all in on this or just wait, because next turn I can Dack Emblem and just take their Omniscience. They don't force this. Well, next turn I'm just going to go Dack Emblem, Snap, and trophy their Omniscience, which is going to become my Omniscience. And I think that's going to be awesome. I should have picked up the Punishing Fire there, but I'm bad. Cast Snap before Emblem. Yes, I understand why. I have a backup Grove I can play right now. They immediately conceded. I maybe they saw where the wind was blowing. So that was cool. Yikes. This was not the payoff my opponent needed to resolve there, I guess. Okay. So the real question is this one of the most commonly played decks in Legacy? Let's find out. Many Magic the Gathering players ask the question. Is Blue-Red Omnitel on Chase's sideboard guide? Let's find out. Nope, it's not, but that's okay. We don't need it. Because we've got Carpet, we've got Pyroblasts, we've got Brazen Borrower. I'm just not looking at chat right away, guys, if people are making suggestions, because I want to learn to fly under my own steam here. So I think Toxic Deluge out seems good. These 5 coming in seem the most important. I think Toxic Deluge can go out. I think probably some number of Cling to Dust. I usually want to leave 1. Don't ask me why. It's like a weird superstition thing. Oh, we want crop rotation because we've got Karakas, I guess, for their Emrakul. Although I guess if they're hard casting it off of Omniscience, it doesn't help us. But if they're just show and telling it in, that's fine. We don't need Lightning Bolt. We don't need Fatal Push. And maybe the last Cling could come out, or maybe one of the Ice-Fangs or Baleful Strix, something like that. All right, now we're looking over. Yeah, that's yeah, Chase, that made a lot of sense that we. So yeah, you play the Snap before the Emblem because first of all, if they had a counter, they would have to decide to counter the Snap, and then I don't have to Emblem the Dack, and I can keep using Dack to dig for good tools. But also, they might not realize what was about to happen, and if the card in their hand was Pyroblast, let's say they let my Snap resolve for whatever reason, and then I target Assassin's Trophy, then I Emblem my Dack and steal their Omniscience. The only thing they could do with that is kill their Omniscience, which is obviously funny. All right, I think if I want to cut one more card here, probably a trophy. I guess since they're on Omniscience, that doesn't really make any sense. Maybe just last Cling. Maybe we just go Clingless. We're going Cling free, baby. Someone get me a lint brush. No, nobody get me a lint brush. I'm already Cling free. Yeah, that was a good quote. That was a good quote. I love the quote bot. I love the quote bot, and I love Alex and Roy being here to grab quotes. Oh my god, if I do my own deck in Legacy, I can play Abominable Treefolk. Of course, it's probably not a good idea with all the dual lands that I could be playing instead, but is Karakas still a thing? Sure is, buddy. That's why we're playing crop rotation. All right, this hand is not phenomenal, but it has Trophy, Drown, and Karakas, so it has stuff going for it. So I think I'm happy. You missed it in the list. Oh yeah, it's in there. It's in there. Karakas. Legendary land. To make it a prairie, it takes a clover and 1 bee. 1 clover and a bee and reverie. Oh, classic flavor text. Just the classics. All right, let's hit a blue card that isn't Drown in the Loch, because I like Drown in the Loch in Legacy a lot. Bibbidi beep boop beep booty. We played the worst fetch land in my hand first, which was consequently at the time also the best fetch land in my hand, which is the Scalding Tarn. Yeah, it's in the main deck now. Because you can use it with Urian and you can use it with Uro. One of the cooler things you can do is when you get hit with Rest in Peace or Leyline of the Void, you can play an Uro and then bounce it with Karakas. Does Karakas count as an example of functional errata? I don't know. What did it originally say? What's the actual text on the card Karakas versus what I'm reading here, which is the MTGO update? Double Punishing Fire draw. Oh, we probably should have boarded out some number of Punishing Fires instead of some of these Cling Dusts. Oh well. No, that's not going to work at all. Yeah, that's not how that works. There might be a command to do it. There might be like an original text command or something like that. So the only thing I'm going to play this turn is Drown the Loch. So let's just play out my Karakas here. I don't think they're a Wasteland deck. No, you have to look up an image of Karakas on like Scryfall if you want the original text. I think. No, that wouldn't count as a functional errata, by the way. At all. In fact, that's the exact opposite of a functional errata. Or, yeah. The errata did not change the functionality. It is not a functional errata. It is just an errata. Actually, Merfolk, I think it won a Modern Challenge like last week. You think you understand why? What do you mean? The change to Legend becoming no longer a creature type and instead being a super type, that was a functional errata. That was a big, big difference. Okay, so we'll play Scalding Tarn at first because this is going to get me a blue or red duel. I still don't have anything to do on my turns other than like just like cast a Punishing Fire. But we've got double force now. I don't have an extra blue card to pitch. I guess I could put Urian in my hand there. Was it Nikachu? No, it was not. It was not Nikachu. Nikachu was not the one who piloted Modern Merfolk to a finals. Or at least if they did, it wasn't on their own profile. Okay, I want red here. Red-black seems good because I'm going to want trophy for next turn. So currently, okay, good. We're just going to spew off a Punishing Fire so that I have room for Urian in my hand next turn. Okay. So I don't want to play my fetch land, my only fetch land right now. So let's go get Urian, and now we've got double force, which I guess I had force plus drown last turn, but drown was a little sketchy with only 2 cards in their graveyard. Oh, I think the quote thing is mod level only, which it shouldn't be. Hold on. I thought we fixed that, but maybe we didn't. Uh-oh. Boseiju. Good thing I've got this Assassin's Trophy. All right, hold on. We wanted to change this thing with the quote command and making it accept. Yeah, I thought we fixed it too, but apparently not. All right, let's get in a big fight, shall we? Saturday, 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 Saturday. Actually, let's go get a forest or a trop. Let's go get a trop right now. There you are. Get out of here, you nerd. Oh, there we go. Oh, I think I needed to do this. Yeah. All right. So now if you press exclamation point quote, you should get everything correctly, Speeve. All right. And now we're in a good spot. Yay, trophy. I love trophy. Random brag, I saw Elton John live last year. You might be in the last batch of people to ever see him live ever again. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure he'll be performing post-pandemic. He seemed in good shape when I saw him during that United Together at Home concert series. They had him out in his backyard with his grand piano. It's like a white grand piano just hanging out in his backyard. What a badass. Had his last tour and my mom got tickets. Nice. Assuming our species survives the pandemic. Again, like, I love the level of reaction some people have had to this, because it's like, guys, pandemics happen. Like, I know I'm not saying some or a lot of the deaths are something that we shouldn't be upset about because they were from mismanagement, but like, pandemics are a thing that are going to happen. The arms race between our species and viruses and bacteria are going to continue. All right, I don't want to just spew off this Punishing Fire, and I don't want to just throw down the Snapcaster Mage for basically no value, so we're just going to stay in the holding pattern here. I guess I could cast Urian and just draw a bunch of cards here. That seems fine, right? And they're like, they're not really excited about having to try to counter a Urian. It feels pretty shields down, but I also don't think you're panicking. I think you're going to be okay. I'm panicking! I'm panicking! All right, what do you got? They just let it resolve. Wild. Okay. So I can still play Drown the Loch and probably double Force. So I don't actually think I put it myself off of any counter magic whatsoever here, and we put a reasonable clock into play. Let's draw a blue card. Okay, that's... yeah, those are cards that we could draw, I guess. Those are reasonable Magic the Gathering cards to have in this matchup. I think maybe we won. They have to try to go off this turn. That's basically what it is. So yeah, they're going to go grab all of their mana right now. And we are definitely keeping Notion Thief in our hand. So how do we want to do this? I think we just drown first. I don't think there's any reason not to. If they got a Stifle, that's basically going to be close to getting a counter off here. They don't. Okay. Let's just grab Volcanic because we might want red later on for... we might want the red later on for Punishing Fire loops. So we're going to exile Snap and Dack in that order to these forces. There we go. You got one more? You got one more? Huh? Come on, buddy. What do you got going on over there? They had it. Cast Force, pitching Force. All right. How do you choose between countering the counterspell versus countering the threat? I almost always just counter the counter. I don't usually get cute. The only card where I've ever seen it be usually relevant is Remand. Well, I mean, they do get to draw 7 here, Speeve. So, like, not the best. So I'm going to get smushed for 7. Then they can draw a fresh 7. So we actually might be in trouble here. We'll see. But having Urian and Notion Thief going on right now is pretty good. Don't they get 14? Yes, that is something that I'm pretty sure that I mentioned as soon as... No, they were at 0. They were literally 0. The point is they got to draw 7. They couldn't draw a second 7 until they attacked me. They lose the Grizzlebrand, though. We still have Urian. So, like... Oh, they didn't draw the second 7. They were content. Interesting. I'm assuming if I bounce my Urian now and try to replay it, they're going to force it. That does put them down to 4 cards in hand. So the real question is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so if I bounce Urian and then play Urian, it will not have enough mana for Notion Thief, which is important. If they play a Grizzlebrand, I can knock them down to... I think I can knock them down to 6? Oh, no, I can knock them down to 7 with just playing Punishing Fire. Then they'll attack me for 7 and kill me. Oh, right. This could be a problem. Show and tell. I think we're letting this resolve, right? Because I mean, this I can't do anything about it. If it's Omniscience, I can't do anything about it. If it's Grizzlebrand or Emrakul, we're okay-ish. This makes my Notion Thief uncounterable, so all right, works for me. Bloop. Yeah, okay, this is a problem. Although, if they're trying to draw cards, that's going to be a problem. Yeah, because they're going to use Firemind's Insight here. There's nothing I could do about this. Yeah. So they get a instant CMC 3 and 2 and 1. So they're going to get Intuition and whatever else. We will let them do this because there's a chance they screw up and play something into my Notion Thief, but they should just get... They got another Cunning Wish? Wild. And a Brainstorm, and they had no CMC2. The Cunning Wish again. Okay, so they just went up a Brainstorm that doesn't do anything right now. They play Cunning Wish again. They're going to kill my Notion Thief and then play Brainstorm. That seems underwhelming. If they have Enter the Infinite in their sideboard, oh, that's a sorcery. But if they have how does Enter the Infinite interact with the Notion Thief? Does it actually say draw? Because I think it does. So I think I would draw 30 cards, and then they would have to put 1 card from their hand back. Right now, if they played an Enter the Infinite, gets Kozilek's Return. They actually just didn't have. All right, so now they have to play a Brainstorm. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about this. So apparently we should not have put... No, it wouldn't deck us. We have 57 cards right now. Drawing 30 wouldn't be a big deal at all. They have Brainstorm and they have a Polluted Delta. So they have a lot of cantrips in their deck. So, but if they are forced to... If they brick, basically... Nope. All right. Just dead. Yeah. Shoot. We got close. All right, we got a game 3. Yeah. Let's get him in game 3, I hope. Things worked out pretty well for us. So, I guess on the show and tell there, I was supposed to just put in nothing because then I could have... Yeah, I guess I would put it nothing because then I could have Notion Thiefed in response to a Grizzlebrand activation or a Brainstorm. So I actually think I did make a misplay there that would have resulted in potentially a very, very big blowout. Would bouncing Urian help? Nope. Not really. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that would have given me something to do. I mean, it wouldn't have actually mattered in the end. The only thing that mattered was not playing the Notion Thief, but I think you're right that instead of putting the Notion Thief in off the show and tell, what we should have done is bounce the Urian and then drop the Urian in and draw in 2 cards eventually off the Astrolabes, which, by the way, we would never get to, but actually, no, we would after they resolve the Emrakul. But it's... The divergent lines after that moment are very, very difficult to predict what would have gone which direction, obviously. So, but I think that is definitely something I should have been cognizant of. I legit don't know. No, that's what I'm saying. I don't know either, but oh boy. I think I'm going to keep this. Oh, Odorous Ungerus is the lead singer of Grup. It's a 4-letter acronym. It's the metal band, and they dress in like Power Rangers villains costumes. Gwar, Gwar, Gwar. Okay. This hand is really bad. Really bad. But we're on the play. I really don't want to go to 5 because just we're going to get in a big resource fight in terms of cards. On the other hand, I just don't have anything to do in the early game, but maybe that's okay. Like maybe this deck is just powerful enough to pull us through, no problem. I'm going to keep this. You gotta know when to hold 'em. Know when to fold 'em. I don't actually know which order those statements are supposed to go in. I think it's in that order. Know when to walk away. Know when to run. You never count your money. While you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the deed is done. One of Hank Hill's favorite songs. Karakas off the top ain't not bad. Pretty sure what I will be playing next turn, if I am able to, is going to be Uro. If you count your money at the table, you get DQ'd. Bribe or no bribe? Yeah, so we're definitely playing Uro this turn into Karakas, and then we're going to say a little prayer. Okay, play that. Use this. I'm going to fetch black-green, I guess. Bayou. Come on down to Bayou. John Fogerty, a little harder of an impression to do. Born on a bayou. Ooh, maybe should have considered putting in the Brainstorm there, actually. So if they have Show and Tell here into Omniscience or Grizzlebrand, we're probably in big trouble. Oh, boy. Oh, so, no, actually having the Brainstorm didn't really matter because... Oh, right. No, this doesn't allow you to put in Planeswalkers, so we're putting in a land here. Hooray! Well, I hope somehow they... Nope. No Lotus Petal. Okay, so we have time to try to kill this. Okay. I just need blue here. Blue, black gives me access to trophy. Good. Whelp. That's not gonna work. So, but there's a Ponder. So let's go Astrolabe, Dack. Draw the Dack. Play the Ponder. All right. I can carpet. I still have a land drop, so I can carpet into Dack Fayden and still be able to play. Yeah, and still be able to play trophy. Crazy. So play carpet off of either of my green sources. We want to shuffle before we plus on Dack. To keep the maximum number of options open, I want Volcanic Island here. No, I should have grabbed... no, Volcanic Island was the right thing to say, but it is not what I grabbed. Okay. Use carpet, we get red. Have to get red. 1, 2, plus the trop means I can play almost anything that I pick up here. Okay. Nothing with red, obviously, but draw 2, discard 2. Crop rotation gets me the Karakas that I already have, so not useful. Yeah. Well, we can put Urian in our hand, but that means we're tapping down the Karakas, which means if they have Emrakul, or no... Yeah, all right. Yeah, we're just passing here, and if they have Grizzlebrand, it's quite bad for me. If they have Emrakul, it is less bad. No, now they've got double red. Shoot. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, they're playing Brainstorm first, which makes me feel like maybe we are lucky. Maybe we get to dodge here. Dodge defeat. Dodge doom. Doom. So Brainstorm is resolving. They've got their sneak attack in play already. If by miracle I make it to my next turn, I mean, we get to do a bunch of stuff, but yeah. So with sneak attack in play already, if they have Emrakul in their hand, we will be sacrificing 6 permanents no matter what, which is not the best. And the only difference is, do we make them spend an extra red mana or not? But I just don't know how this could possibly matter. Because I just don't know how we could sack in a way that... Yeah. Like, I could sacrifice all my lands and have only carpet and Dack, but I think we're just dead here. So... I mean, you gotta try? Question mark. Yeah, they just put it back down again. Still has haste. Yeah, it doesn't matter though. They have sneak attack and another red mana. So as soon as they declare the attacker here, we're toast. Yep. All right, and that is going to be it for me today. I have to get prepped up and head off to work. So we played the first 3 matches of our Mana Traders entry here. We've gone 1 and 2, which is, it's all right. Legacy is a tough format. This is a fine matchup. They just had a very, very good early draw. We had to mull to 6 for a mediocre one, which happens. So I will be back with more wonderful stuff, more wonderful Magic content in the next couple of days. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Thanks for keeping up with the YouTube content and all the wonderful things. And check out Face-to-Face Games, especially if you're a Canadian. They do wonderful, wonderful Magic the Gathering sales of both sealed product and singles. And just awesome, awesome guys. Guys and gals, folks. So